All right, we here. I got the panel on stage this time, doing something a little different.
It's all good.
Right in.
All right. Notice my panel. Like, share, subscribe, make some comments, all that good shit. All right, let's get it started, man. Simple question. First topic: interracial dating. Yes, no, why not? Isha, we'll start with you.
I'll go first. I'm new.
I'm, right now, right now I'm attracted to, my black brothers. However, I think I got one more in me before I go and explore something else. That's it.
Just one more?
Just one more.
Okay, so is that a yes? No?
To each his own.
Oh man, that do as I will, huh? So huh? That's a
What
yes.
happened?
That's a yes.
Yes, interracial dating.
Okay, Alex.
I mean, if I wasn't married, I don't see anything wrong with it, but I have a preference for black men. So for me personally, in my house, it's a no for me.
Okay, so hypothetically, is it a yes? If you were outside, is it a yes or a no?
Probably initially a no.
Okay. Too blessed.
Yeah, it's a no for me. I need someone that I can relate to. I talk too much about what's happening in our community to not have someone that understands without me having to re-explain the same way I have to re-explain at work. However, like I don't think that there's anything wrong with white women choosing to date outside of their race. I mean, well, no, black women choosing to date outside of their race, or black men choosing to date outside of their race. To me, it's more so about like the reason behind it. So for black men, if it's, well, white women are easier and black women are just so difficult, I have a problem with that. But if it's just like, I found love in a beautiful place and the beautiful place is in a white woman, then, to each his own. We probably ain't want you no way.
Spirit Styles.
Dating, yes. Marriage, no. He asked the question with interracial dating.
Yeah.
Facts.
Yeah, get experience. Get
Exactly.
experience.
And then break up with them after you fall in love. Got you. Makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
There's a master plan to this, right? Master course, a master plan.
Got you. All right.
No. I mean,
We'll expound in a second because I know you long-winded. So just hold on.
If you subject yourself to one type of person, one type of woman. No, you go ask me the question. Let me answer.
Yeah, you did. You said yes, then no. It's a dumb shit like that. Matter of fact,
put him in the fuck. All right, go ahead, pass it.
All right, thanks. Master Corey.
Yeah, I'm here for it, man. I think I don't have a problem with interracial dating. I think when we said that, people took it to straight black and white, but in the day there's a lot of other races besides white people. So I'd be open to exploring some of them other races. So yeah, I'm with it.
Okay, CC.
Everyone. I do. In my household, like, man, I believe you can date who you want to date for who you marry. I do believe, like, if you love wherever you live.
Can y'all hear her? Okay.
Then black and white. So yeah, I like it all.
So see, we can hear.
Yep, I said yes, and yes. That's what I said.
Yeah, no, but you got it. Your connection.
You can hear me?
Your connection is a little bad. Mm-hmm. Get off the Metro PCS. See if you can get on the Wi-Fi.
I'm on the Wi-Fi, Hampton.
Okay. All right. So we heard it's yeses. So first question I have: Furious Styles, we're gonna get to you. But first question I have: if they supposed to date and love and shit, why they gotta justify their reasons to you? Why they gotta justify their reasons why they doing it? So it got to be a good reason, or are they just doing it for whatever reason?
No, I mean, nobody requires, or has to provide justification for anything that they do in their lives. But, if they volunteer it, so meaning, if we're around each other as friends, Corey, well, not Corey, let's leave Corey out. But if Shaun comes with, a woman of a different background, different demographic background, and we're just like, oh, how'd y'all meet? And he's just explaining her and how they came to meet through association and what the affiliation is. And if he gives a reason and says, well, she's just so easy to deal with, I've had issues with Black women in the past, because that conversation comes up.
But that could be a valid reason, though.
Yeah.
If past experiences,
it could very well be a valid reason based off of circumstances, but Black women aren't monolithic. So I mean, I just like any other demographic.
So you should just keep trying till you find one that's not difficult. If you date 5 Black women and they difficult, you shouldn't assume Black women are difficult. You should just keep going down that lane till you find.
You could switch over to whichever demographic you want, but your reasoning shouldn't be tied to behavior. I mean, a lot of our behavior is dependent on other people's behaviors too. So what were you doing? So.
I mean, I think there's some consistencies. I think we're not.
Oh, don't do that, Corey.
I mean, this is speaking in general. Obviously, these are generalities, but there might be some consistencies in behaviors among certain ethnic groups. So if you date, a bunch of Black women and you find some consistency there, and you want to try something else, then jump into another lane and give that a shot. And a valid reason could be because I dated a bunch of Black women and they all have the same similar characteristic that I don't like.
Could it be that you're attracted to a certain type of Black woman and that is why they have the same characteristics?
It's possible, or it could be that all of y'all just had the same characteristics. It could be. No, I wouldn't say that. Yeah, maybe like a Black woman who has this other thing that you like comes with a certain type of, quality, and you just don't like that combination. But I think,
but then it sounds like you need to change who you like or the characteristics that you're attracted to.
I ain't got time to date all the Black women. How about I just go date another?
What would make you think that being with another race would be easier?
I mean, let's give it a shot. I'm not saying it is, but I don't know until I try. So let me try one.
So let me just jump in because Isha, I don't want to say this contrary to your initial point, but you say you got one more nigga in you, and then you go another way.
And then I gotta explore my other options.
That's the same thing I'm saying.
Because I gotta change what I'm attracted to. That's what I'm saying. Maybe I'm just picking the wrong type of man. Maybe I need to open up my horizons.
Okay. But it does sound like, so you kind of in agreement with Corey, essentially.
I don't think all Black men.
But you say you got one more nigga.
I don't think I'm just before I open up my to open up my horizons, because I believe that Black men are good men. However, there is in my age group, a lot of our Black men are either married, in relationships, in jail, or gay. So I have to open up that box.
Man, come on. There are plenty of non-married, non-gay, non-prison restricted Black men in the community.
Yeah.
I can tell you about some that I've met. But
So, okay. All right. So, I mean, I think you guys' points kind of align. So, Furious Styles, you date them for experience, but you don't marry them. So that experience essentially is it moot at a point?
No, I think you can learn something from everybody you date, but you may learn more understanding. Like I've dated white women, and I've obviously in relationship with a Black woman, but if I can't pull anything from that experience to say, oh, this is a little different, let me offer some kind of understanding on the other side. Experience is experience. It's all a lesson. So yes, I do believe that you could be able to, but my mission in life is to populate the earth with Black people. So however that works, I mean, if you interracially date, you interracially marry, you're gonna have Black kids.
So, so you saying that all experience is good experience? I haven't personally in my marriage now. I didn't learn shit from anybody in the past. I don't feel like I gained.
Nothing.
No, not really. I learned how to have sex,
Were
but
you in a relationship before you married? Like a relationship?
yeah. But I just think that that is a misnomer. Like people don't teach you about other people. I don't think my wife learned anything from somebody else because I'm everybody like you said we're not monolithic. So I don't know
But if
how to dating a white woman gonna teach you how to about a black woman.
But
no,
you
but
might
date,
learn something
but
about
but
yourself.
but dating a different woman will teach you how to deal with another woman.
But I also think when you say I would date this person, but I won't marry this person, to me says that I can't bring you home to my family. So is that the issue? Is it, I mean, it's one thing to say like to be attracted to this particular type of individual, but are you not wanting to marry them? Because as Corey said, what if you do fall in love with them? Then it's like, I love you, but my
Right.
family's not is going to feel a way about me bringing someone other than a black woman to the household. Because I think that's something that people don't talk about. Because then it's going to be like, oh, you bringing this white girl home, or you bringing this Spanish girl home. Is that what it is?
If she can't use your mama comb, she can't come home. Right?
And I get that.
Where did these things?
I like that. I like that.
I don't like that at all. That's stupid.
That's a good question though. Is it tied to that? But before we kind of expound on Alex's point, CC, so you just saying do as thou will. It don't matter. Yes, 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 and some other shit you said.
No, what I'm saying is it shouldn't matter initially. It shouldn't initially matter, but love is not the only thing about a lifelong partnership. Lifestyle. So of course, if you can't bring them home and they can't sit at your table or bring a dish and everybody can have a common thing with them, then no, you wouldn't make a lifelong commitment. Now you might have learned something, how to be patient with your black man, or how to be patient with your black woman, or how to be helpful, or how to be understanding from them other experiences. But like, we're here to procreate. But again, that's still stupid because whatever we mix our blood with is our blood. So, but still, variation is good. But for understanding, definitely, I would date any race, but I definitely want to marry a black man. I'm married to a black man, so
Okay. I don't understand
that
that
makes sense.
though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
can you hear
maybe
me?
I hear you. I hear you. And Sean saying the same thing. But is Alex point the real reason? Like you could date him, but you can't marry him because of these factors that you don't control, like family and all of that.
Exactly, because it's not just about love. You might know that. It ain't just about who you love. You can fall in love with a Kit Kat. It ain't just about love. It's not. It's about lifestyle. It's about finances. It's about understanding. It's about communication, love languages. It's not just about love. So yeah, you can date anybody you want to date for experiences. But when you get married, especially if you get prematurely married or date a bunch of people for no reason, ultimately you won't learn anything until once you get in the motion of it. That's my opinion.
Okay.
I say as a disclaimer because people get upset.
Nah, you don't have to that's your opinion. You don't have to say that. We know that. I mean, I'm personally not for it at all. It wouldn't make sense to me to date an oppressor. That's just how I feel. I feel like there's too much history. There's the only thing they can achieve is empathy. And empathy is hard to achieve. Sympathy they can't achieve because they never experienced it. Right? So there's gonna be there's already too many hurdles. And now we gotta overcome that one also.
Would
Right?
you date a Hispanic woman?
I'm not so much against that. Because they have the
You
same
said you're not against that.
not as much. They have the same trauma as us, right?
So you just against dating white people. You're not against interracial dating. You're just
Right.
against dating white people. That's different.
We don't want to go. I don't want to get too deep into who necessarily, but I'm not really with some of the other races also. But if you're talking about the Hispanics, like Boricua, Taino, right? People that went through trauma, the rape, rob, and murder, right? That went through slavery. That's where the dance merengue comes from.
So you basing your life partner on whether their ancestors went through trauma.
Well, I think trauma matters, right? Because we can see things similarly. So I think that's the key, right? So And also,
They can go through trauma. Their ancestors went through trauma, and you think that helps them see things similar to how you see things.
yeah, so trauma is systemic, right? And it starts from somewhere. And so we still experience it. Maybe it may not look the same, but
Mhm.
best believe it's still here. So you got to know how to deal with it because there are already enough hurdles to deal with in life. I want to also her to be able to assist me in dealing with those as well.
So you want someone you have a trauma bond with. That's interesting. That's an interesting
But what if
quality.
what if what if that what if that woman doesn't have any what if that woman has a what if she has a disconnect to trauma? Like she don't have the black experience.
Well, like you said, like Caddy said, women aren't monolithic, but
Right.
I can probably right the probability of her knowing what I know is probably higher than a white woman. Right. So yeah, I can't
Can I
say
ask a question? So are you telling me, can you be black and not experience trauma? Like he said, like be disconnected to it. So can you be with a black woman essentially and she be disconnected to trauma? Because there are people like that.
Absolutely.
Like they don't associate themselves with what's going on. So can you still marry her just because she's a black woman or
No.
date her?
Yeah, like we just said, the possibility of that
How do you
is much.
associate between the two?
Say what? How do you disassociate?
How
Or
do
how do
you
you
associate?
discern?
Yeah,
You mean? Oh, well, you have a
yeah,
conversation
associate
first.
between the two.
Yeah, so if you have a conversation, you could probably get some understanding.
So if you met a black woman who didn't have the trauma, she out of the door too.
Yeah, we probably just wouldn't align as well. You know what I mean?
Right.
So I think the alignment matters, and I'm more likely to align with a woman that's of my lineage based on just historical culture and all of that. Even the food, even not having washcloths, that's not a thing.
So I think, okay, so a couple things. I think when we're saying dating, when I think of people saying I would date this but not marry that, I think what they're saying is, for me, when I hear is I would have sex with this other group, but I would not date you to take you seriously to bring you home. So that's that piece. The second piece is when you were talking about sharing common themes or things with maybe the Hispanic culture. I think because there's being black, but then within the black community, there's also different ethnic groups. So I've definitely heard people saying like, maybe I'm Caribbean, I want to be with another Caribbean individual, or I'm from Africa, so I want to be with another Caribbean individual. Or there's, because that's a thing too. Because we can all be black, but there are some cultures where like, no, we don't mix. We don't want that. So I think that's a thing also.
It is.
Yeah.
And you can definitely drill it down. I agree. But I think that Alex is completely right when she's saying, yeah, you can have sex with him, but you ain't going to marry him. I feel like that might be worse. I'd just rather say no and keep it 100. But you can get some cheeks, but you can't take her home. I mean, should she be treated that way?
But
Should
that's
he
the fetish
treated-
of a person.
Huh?
That's like that's going into like the fetish of a person.
Mhm.
So that's what I think of when people say I would date.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. Not to push back on what you said completely, Alex, but I think you date until you find what works for you, who works for you. I wouldn't.
Well, if the person you found worked for you, but
Right.
you because she's white, now you're gonna cut her off. You found
Right,
someone
that
that
was
works
your
for
point
you.
that she was making, because you can't use your mama's comb, you can't bring her home.
Right.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
you start dating a woman, she works for you, but because she's not the right ethnicity, you're gonna cut her off.
That's
Because
correct.
you're worried about what your mom is thinking.
That
So that's
ain't-
the point that I'm making.